Hey, Common Ground Northeast, this is Pastor Eric. This is kind of a special message coming out, maybe even still putting together my thoughts and trying to collect what should be said even in a moment like this. But as a church that is intentionally attempting to work towards racial reconciliation and to eradicate white supremacy inside of the institutions of our country, I just felt like it was something we needed to speak up on and to put out in front of the people of Common Ground Northeast. And yesterday, Pastor Jody said to me, "Hey, I don't know if you guys noticed in the news, but in the last hour or in the last 24 hours, Indianapolis has had a really rough night." And as I'm looking today at some of the news articles and stuff, that within an 8-hour period, there were 3 people killed. And you can almost feel that Indianapolis is lamenting in this moment, which is rightful, is exactly what should happen. As a church, as a congregation, we have been trying to awaken ourselves to see white supremacy quicker and faster and to notice when those things are taking place. And of course, nationally, we have this moment with Ahmaud Arbery that has created brought some national attention to this. And so I just felt like Jemar Tisby has there's a website called The Witness that's hosted by Jemar Tisby and his group. And I just felt like some of the words that they put together on Ahmaud Arbery's situation were very poignant. I wanted to read those. The author is Seleucian Joseph. He says this: "There's something terribly wrong with this country's justice system if we have to celebrate the arrest of those who have committed horrific acts of evil or violence against Black and African people." That was the national response yesterday, April 7th, 2020, when Glenn County police officers arrested the 2 white supremacists who slaughtered jogger Ahmaud Arbery on February 23rd, 2020 in Brunswick, Georgia. Arguably, this incident illustrates the gaping hole in America's democratic wall. If Black people in this country have to demand and plead for justice every time a crime is committed against us, there's something tragic about our democracy, our collective moral conscience, and our regard for human life and dignity. Let's stop singing God Bless America until we reconstitute this nation and ourselves, restructure its justice system, and humanize the Black experience. Let's renew the American mind toward equal and pure justice, moral decency, and a high value of Black lives and the most vulnerable in the society. The fundamental reason Black people keep shouting Black Lives Matter is simply because the structure of our justice system and public policies denies that reality. Our laws and democracy never fully deracinated the hegemonic omnipresence of white power in society and never resolved the overwhelming impact of white privilege in culture. The article goes on, and I think it's worth reading. Hopefully we can maybe get a link out. But I just felt like as a church, we've been trying to awaken our hearts and our minds to this. This is a moment not just for awakening, but for action. And I'm not sure where that leads you. I'm not sure where your convictions take you in that moment. There could be a rally that God is really stirring you to move towards. Maybe making some phone calls to see and make sure that we put pressure on whatever needs to take place in order to bring equity into these systems. But I want to encourage you, Common Ground. Pray, ask Jesus, what do you want me to do in this situation? Have the courage to do whatever he is telling you to do. In the least, we are called to do this. This is from Luke 4, verse 18. It says, "The Spirit of the Lord," this is Jesus speaking, "the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." And we want to see equity and justice delivered into our streets, not just so that this one moment we would see justice happen in this one moment or this one legal case, but that no matter anytime a person of color wants to go for a run, they don't have the fear that anything like this would ever happen again. That's the prayer. I don't want to call us at least to prayer, but into and even into forms of lament as we're lamenting this thing, but into some form of action. And hopefully we can get some links floating around that will help guide you in that direction. But I want to encourage you right now, take a look, see if there's things you can donate to help in that legal process. See if there's things that you might be able to contribute to this more than just a Facebook or Instagram post. We love you guys, but this is a time not just for awakening, but for action, and we want to call Common Ground to be a part of taking action in this moment on behalf of racial reconciliation and justice and the removal of white supremacy in our American systems.